Hello, BookTube. I have a tiny bit of mail for you here, including a package that I already opened. Oh, God. I opened it, and then I remembered, oh, wait a minute, just because you don't get much mail doesn't mean you don't open your mail on camera. So I have the book. You're just not getting the vicarious thrill of watching me rip open the packaging. And it's one that I've actually wanted. I've actually seen some people writing on this already. This is R.F. Foster, who we just met. He wrote a 2-volume biography of William Butler Yeats that's really, really good. And this is his little book on Seamus Heaney's poetry. Tiny little thing. There is Seamus Heaney when he was a wild-haired young man instead of a wild-haired old man. And this is fantastic. This is an author that I really like. It's also a poet I really like. A little thing. This is a Princeton guide to writers on writers. I have a few of these. And I'm sure that I will learn a lot from this book. I'm sure that I will. Because Seamus Heaney was a poet who didn't put on airs, and Foster is a biographer and historian who doesn't put on airs. Perfect. That's just what I want. So that was one thing that I opened without you. But now we have 2 packages here that we can open together. Let's see here. Those of you who are wondering, quite a few of you have been wondering, the space down there all the way in the back corner is at the bottom is still empty. I still have not decided what to do with that. I opened up a shelf of space here in the book room, not just anywhere, but in the book room. That is unheard of. And it's wide open, and it's paralyzing me with choices. And I thought that was bad enough, but then yesterday I went on a walk with the Bean, and we found a bookcase. Perfectly good bookcase. So, and it was, I mean, I might have been able to rationalize leaving it behind, but it was virtually on my doorstep. Even I ordinarily, in times past, when I have found a big wooden book, most of the bookcases in Hyde Cottage here have been found on the sidewalk, with the exception of a handful of them that were made for me specifically by a muscular teenager. But most of the time that I've found the bookcases that I use in this room, I've found them when I was on a dog walk with muscular teenagers, so that I could say, okay, carry that. You know, we're going to head back to the house. Carry that. They love carrying huge inanimate objects, so it was no problem at all. But on my own, the thing was right on my doorstep, where I might have been able to rationalize leaving it. But now I have a whole bookcase that's empty as well. So the indecision is paralyzing me. But I don't mention that in terms of this mail haul, because it's highly doubtful that I would get anything in the mail that would go on that shelf. Highly doubtful. But I still do need to figure out what's going to go there and what's going to rearrange this whole room as a result. Am I going to rearrange the whole room? Am I going to pull things? I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, fantastic. Oh, great. Oh, a finished copy. How wonderful. Okay, this is from Liverite, the great folks at Liverite, and this is Edward O. Wilson, Tales from the Ant World. A finished copy of Tales from the Ant World. That is our author. He is the world's foremost ant expert, and this is his latest book, Reflections on Ant Biology, Ant Behavior, and also on his own past, the previous 80 years that he's been doing this. And I have an e-copy of this book, and I have an advanced copy of this book, but I wanted the finished copy because I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'll be reviewing it. I'm writing a review today of this book. I'll be finishing my review today. All the guts, the integumentary tissue of the review is all done. I've got the header material done. I always take the quotes, little fragments, terms, sentences, and maybe a block paragraph or two. I take whatever I might want to quote from the review and put it in the document first before I do anything else. So that there I've got the bare bones of the piece. I've got everything that I need aside from me. So I would copy down the author's biography. In this case, I know it, so I don't need to copy it down. I would copy down the indicia of the book, so, you know, the header material, the publisher, the page count, the price, and whatnot. And then I would add the quotes, because I might want to refer to them. Sometimes I'll have those quotes on the open document. I won't use them at all. Other times I will, but one way or another, once I've got all of that stuff down on the document, and we're talking Google Docs here, so I can access it on any machine that I have, anywhere that I am. Once I have all that stuff in the document, then I am divorced from the book. I'm free from having the book with me and having it open and doing this sort of thing. I don't have to do that. Once I've got all the stuff that I need from the book, the facts, the dates, the author biography stuff, the quotes, once I've got all of that, then I'm free to just write wherever and not need to have the book in front of me. And I have all that done. I just need to now to write the review. But I loved the book. I don't remember off the top of my head who I'm reviewing this for. I have a lot of reviews that I'm doing in August that'll probably show up in September. There's no pub date on this, so but I think this would be an August release. Well, one way or another, I don't quite remember who I'm reviewing this for. It's the Christian Science Monitor, I think, or the Boston Globe, or the Washington Post. It's one of those three. But I will let you know. So that's great, fantastic to have a finished copy, because that's something I'm going to want to keep. And then we'll have this last one, and then we'll be done. I did a very long tag earlier, so we'll make this video a little short. What have we got here? What have we got here? Oh my. Oh wow, okay. I think I knew this book was coming. This is dated for October, late October, so that date could be firm. This is from Farrar, Straus and Giroux. This is The Book Collectors, a band of Syrian rebels and the stories that carried them through the war, by Delphine Minouy, who is a recipient of the Albert Lord's Lunders Prize, I can't pronounce any of these names, for her reporting on Iraq and Iran, and is a journalist and Middle Eastern correspondent for Le Figaro. Born in Paris in 1974 to a French mother and an Iranian father, she now lives in Istanbul. She is the author of I'm Writing You from Tehran. Oh, I reviewed that book. I think I reviewed I'm Writing You from Tehran. I believe I did. I don't suppose I'm blurbed or anything, no? That would be an easy way to tell if I did review it. I feel certain that I reviewed I'm Writing You from Tehran. Did I? Did I do that? Okay, this thing is covered in blurbs, but nothing by me, so maybe I didn't. One way or another, this is the book. There's going to be a cover with a book on the cover, and there you have Save Syria. Let's see here. Day in and day out, bombs fall on Daraya, a town outside Damascus, the very spot where the Syrian civil war began. In the midst of chaos and bloodshed, a group searching for survivors stumbles upon a cache of books. They collect the books, then look for more. In a week, they have 6,000 volumes. In a month, 15,000. A sanctuary is born, a library where the people of Daraya can explore beyond the blockade. In 2015, French-Iranian journalist Delphine Minouy saw a post on Facebook about this secret library and tracked down one of its founders, 23-year-old Ahmad, an aspiring photojournalist himself. Over WhatsApp and Facebook, she learned about the young men who gathered in the library, exchanged ideas, learned English, and imagined how to shape the future even as bombs fell above. What a story. Oh, man, what a story. Fantastic. All right, well, this is translated, I assume, from the French by Laura Vergnal, and it is The Book Collectors. Fantastic. The pub sheet includes a quote from page 27 of the book. Reading is the new foundation for the bubble of freedom they have constructed. They read to explore a concealed past, to learn, to evade insanity. Books are the best way to escape the war, if only temporarily. A melody of words against the dirge of bombs. Reading, a humble human gesture that binds them to the mad hope of the return to peace. Okay, so this might be a lot about the power of reading as well as about Syria. That'd be fantastic. All right, so this is a date of late October, so I'm not sure that I'll get to it right away. It does sound fascinating. It's awful tempting to just get to it right away. But I have a lot of other things to read, including about ants. I will be rereading this book before I write the review. So, boy, that sounds great, though. The Book Collectors. Books as an anchor of sanity in war-torn Damascus. Amazing. Okay, and I'm Writing You from Tehran. That's bothering me. I'm going to have to look for that. And I will look for it, just in case you're curious. I will look for it the same way any of you should look for anything if you're curious about what I've written about it. Simply go to Google, type in Steve Donoghue, and then type in the keywords of what you're wondering whether or not I've ever written about. In this case, the keywords would be either this author's name or I'm Writing You from Tehran. And that will do it. Google's search function is incredible. That is what I do when I need to find out if I've written about something, is that I do that. When you do that, when you type in my name on Google, you will be told by Google that I am a 19th century Irish jockey. I'm not. And I never was. Okay? 28. Okay? So those are our books for today. That's great. The Book Collectors, which is I will put off just a bit. And then the other two are immediate. The Tales from the Ant World, the latest from Edward O. Wilson. I will read this again today. And R.F. Foster on Seamus Heaney. A book about Shea Heaney and his poetry and his life, probably. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, and also very small. All of these together would take me no more than 3 hours to read. But these two, the two that I'll be reading today, are not by any means the whole of the TBR for today. That is lots of other stuff as well. But that is the mail. There might be more today. This stuff was suspiciously early. So other stuff may come. I always say that because I'm always hoping for more mail. But one way or another, if I get it, I will make sure this time not to open it, any of it, until the camera is rolling. I will make sure of that. And I'm assuming that no matter when we next do a mail haul, that space will still be open. Look at it down there. It's just taunting me. It's just taunting me. I cleaned that stretch of floor. That stretch of floor had stacks of books on it. It had stacks of technology on it, stacks of paper on it. And once I cleaned that floor so that it was wide open, and then I swept it and I mopped it and whatnot. Once I did that, that gave me a clear view of that bottom shelf right there. And when I looked at that shelf, I realized it was full of old journal volumes and documents and folders, and those don't belong on bookshelves. They don't belong on bookshelves. So I got them out of there. I put them inside the closet. I opened the closet in this room specifically for storage, for stuff like that, and that left the shelf open. I'm sure it'll still be open. I'm paralyzed. And it's even worse now because I have a whole bookcase as well. It's that I'm paralyzed with. I don't even know where to put the bookcase, much less what to put on it. It can't come in here. That at least I know. This room can't fit any more bookcases. So unless I close that closet door again. I've been thinking about doing that because I opened up. I have a long walk-in closet in this room that I had closed for years and years. Just I had nothing to put in it. I don't want to accumulate stuff to put in a closet. But realistically speaking, sometimes you do have stuff that you want to keep but not display. Sometimes that you don't use every day. Sometimes you can have a little of that. You shouldn't ever have a lot. But sometimes, at first I opened it up because I thought, well, it's a huge amount of space. Why not use it? Why not lay in a whole bunch of pillows and blankets and sheets and use it as a reading nook? So I had muscular teenagers open up, tear apart this whole room to open up that closet, sweep it out, clean it, everything, disinfect it and whatnot. And much to my chagrin, I realized that Frida under no circumstances will go in that space. She just won't do it. She just won't do it. So I'm obviously not going to want to be in there without her. So it wasn't going to be any good for that. So my first thought was, well, that didn't work, so I'll just close it up again. Get the boys back in. This time they'd have to wear masks and get them to close it up again. And then I thought, no, why don't you use it? Why don't you fill it with stuff and see if you can't clean miscellaneous spaces like that otherwise have stuff. So I did, and I have been doing that, and I kind of sort of like it. But it has a limit. I vigorously get rid of stuff. I Marie Kondo my crap all the time. I don't think I have enough to fill that closet. And I think that if I keep at it, I am going to reach a point where I'm going to look at it and say, well, that's as much stuff as I have that is ever going to go in there. In which case, maybe close it up again? I'm thinking I might want that closet closed when it gets cold. Otherwise, the heat is just going in there where it's not doing anybody any good. One way or another, this space is open. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'll give you updates on that as well, because I know you're dying of curiosity. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.